Do you always overthink everything, or is it just when I'm around? I looked up from my clipboard, startled. Adrian Westwood stood in the doorway of the glass conference room, sleeves rolled, tie loosened, smirk loaded like a weapon. My mouth opened before I could stop it. I don't overthink. I just like things to be perfect. He said, stepping in and closing the door behind him. Perfection's overrated. Sometimes, chaos is more honest. Was that supposed to mean something? I gave a polite laugh. Well, I like my chaos color-coded and stapled. He chuckled, low and amused. You're not like the others. Others? I didn't ask what he meant. My stomach had already started its flutter routine. Why are you even here? It's past 9, I said, trying to sound casual as I packed up the project brief. I could ask you the same. Most assistants don't work 14-hour days. Most CEOs don't notice their assistants. He stepped closer. Not inappropriate, yet. But close enough that I could smell the soft trace of bergamot and ambition. I notice everything, sweetheart. Sweetheart. The word lodged somewhere between my lungs and my spine. I told myself it was harmless. A habit. Nothing more. I moved to step around him. His hand reached out, catching my necklace chain. It's backwards, he said softly. Let me fix it. I froze. He was behind me now, fingers brushing the nape of my neck as he turned the clasp forward. I hated how warm I felt. There, he said, voice like velvet. Better. Thank you, I whispered, staring at the floor. Don't thank me yet. I turned. What's that supposed to mean? He tilted his head. It means I like complicated women. And I like not getting sued for sexual harassment, I said too quickly. He laughed, genuinely. Touché. But tell me, would you report me if I kissed you right now? Silence. I swallowed. You wouldn't. His eyes dropped to my lips. Wouldn't I? I stepped back. He let me. Good night, Mr. Westwood. His smile was slow. Good night, sweetheart. Cassie was waiting on the couch when I got home. You're smiling. I'm not. You so are. Spill. I dropped my bag. Nothing happened. But something almost did? I stared at the ceiling. He touched my necklace. That's it? It felt like a bomb went off inside my body. Cassie sat up. Girl, you need to get laid. I threw a pillow at her. It's not that. It's him. He's intense. He's married. I know. He's your boss. I know. You gonna fall for him anyway? I didn't answer. The next week was torture. He started calling me into his office for things he didn't need help with. He let our fingers brush when he handed me papers. He'd say things like, you looked beautiful yesterday, with a voice so casual it felt cruel. Do you always compliment your staff like this? I asked once, biting the inside of my cheek. Only the ones I dream about. I laughed, too loud, trying to turn it into a joke. But it didn't feel like a joke. Late Friday, he found me in the break room, sipping terrible coffee. I want to ask you something, he said, leaning against the counter. Okay. Why do you never look at me the way you used to? I blinked. What? You used to stare. No, I didn't. You did. I liked it. I crossed my arms. You're married. I'm aware. Then stop saying things like that. Why? Because I can't breathe when you do. He stared at me. My heart pounded so loud I was afraid he could hear it. I notice everything, remember, he said, and just like that, he walked away. That night, I lay in bed, rereading every word he ever said to me. Wondering what was real. Wondering if I was losing my mind or just slipping into a dream I didn't want to wake from. Cassie knocked once, came in with a bowl of popcorn. You're falling. I didn't answer. He's dangerous, she whispered. I nodded. I won't stop you. But I'll be here when he does. I reached for her hand. I wasn't stupid. I wasn't naive, but for the first time in years, someone looked at me like I mattered, and I didn't know yet that it would cost me everything, but I already knew I'd pay. Hold the elevator. I jammed the open button without looking, still balancing a tray of takeout in one hand and a folder under my arm. The door slid back just in time. Adrian stepped inside, hair tousled, jacket off, shirt rolled to his elbows. He smelled like coffee and quiet destruction. You stayed late, he said, glancing at the food. For me? I blinked. For the quarterly report. You just happened to benefit. He smirked. I like the sound of that. Me benefiting from you. Wow, I muttered, pressing the ground floor. You really have no filter, do you? I'm honest, he said. Honest people are dangerous, didn't you know? The elevator doors closed, then the lights flickered. I stiffened. Don't tell me, and just like that, we jerked to a stop. Oh my God. Relax, he said calmly, hitting the emergency button. This building's old. It'll reset in a minute. The silence that followed wasn't normal silence. It was charged. Hot. Like the air had thickened with every heartbeat. I shifted, suddenly aware of how small the space was. Well, this isn't awkward at all. You're blushing. No, I'm not. You're blushing. Stop staring. At me. He stepped closer. Why? Because I can't think when you do. His eyes didn't move. Good. Maybe you think too much. Adrian, say it again. Say what? My name. Like that. I stared at him, heart hammering. This isn't fair. No, he said, voice lower, rougher. It's not. But it's real. He leaned in slowly. I could have stopped him. I could have moved. I didn't. Our lips met halfway. Soft. Then harder. Messy. Desperate. Like we'd been holding our breath for weeks. I dropped the food. His hand found my waist. I gripped his shirt like it was the only real thing in the world. I didn't care that we were in an elevator. I didn't care he was married. I didn't care that someone could walk in. All I cared about was how his mouth felt on mine, and how, for the first time in forever, I felt wanted. The elevator whirred back to life. We pulled apart just as the lights returned. His lips were flushed. Mine felt swollen. He didn't say anything, neither did I. But the second the doors opened, he reached for my hand. Not to hold it. To pull me. His penthouse was marble and shadowed. I stood in the center of the living room, dazed. You live like a villain. He chuckled behind me. Would that bother you? Depends on the villain. He came closer. I'm not a good man. I know. I'm not available. I know. I'll hurt you. I know. And I still let him kiss me again. I woke tangled in his sheets. He sat at the edge of the bed, back to me, shirtless. Silent. You're thinking. I always think, he said. I rolled onto my side. Do you regret it? No, he said quietly. Do you? I didn't answer. He looked at me over his shoulder. She doesn't see me anymore. I'm not your solution. I'm not asking you to be. Then what are you asking? He reached out, brushing my hair from my face. Stay. I did. It became a rhythm. Late night meetings that turned into shared drinks. Whispered names in hotel rooms. My lipstick on his collar. His hand on the small of my back when no one was looking. I can't stop thinking about you, he said once, breath warm against my throat. You shouldn't say that. I mean it. Then leave her. He went quiet. That was always the line, and he never crossed it. You're glowing, Cassie said one morning as I poured coffee. I shrugged. I got sleep. Bullshit, she said. You're either sleeping with someone or you found a miracle serum. I avoided her eyes. Oh my God. It's him. What? No. You're a terrible liar. Cassie, she set her mug down hard. Tell me you're not sleeping with Adrian Westwood. I hesitated. That's a yes, she said, disgusted. Jesus, you're smarter than this. I didn't plan it. That's worse. You fell. He makes me feel seen. He makes you disposable, she snapped. My face crumpled. You don't know him. She softened. No. But I know you. And you've never risked your heart for someone who could actually keep it. I didn't speak. I couldn't. She walked away. The next night, I lay in Adrian's arms in a hotel bed. Do you believe in fate? I asked softly. He didn't answer right away. Then, I believe in timing. And ours is terrible. I laughed without humor. That's convenient. He kissed the top of my head. I wish I'd met you first. But he didn't, and someone else was watching. I just didn't know it yet. You left something. I turned, confused. Vivienne Westwood stood in the doorway of the executive wing, heels clicking, red lipstick perfect, eyes sharp like glass. What? She stormed across the room before I could finish. Her hand cracked. Across my face, gasps echoed. My cheek stung. My ears rang. You filthy little girl, she hissed, holding something in her hand. Recognize this? My earring. The one I'd lost 2 weeks ago. No, I don't know. Save it, she spat. I found it in my bed. My bed. I looked at Adrian. He was standing in the hallway behind her, frozen. Say something, I whispered. He didn't move. Adrian, she said, turning slowly, voice shaking with fury. I want her fired. Today. I need to talk to legal, he muttered. Let's not, you coward. Vivienne faced me again, and for a second I swore she almost smiled. You thought you mattered to him? Her voice was razor calm now. You were a warm body. In a cold bed. That's it. Vivienne, don't say my name like you know me, she snapped. You don't get to play victim now. I didn't ask for this, I choked out. No. But you enjoyed it. Security appeared. I didn't even see who called them, miss, one of them said. You'll need to come with us. I work here, I said, still trembling. You can't just, Mr. Westwood's orders. I turned to Adrian. Is this happening? He couldn't even look at me. Wow, I laughed bitterly. You said you dreamed about me. Was that before or after you let your wife humiliate me? In front of your staff? Let's handle this quietly, he said under his breath, quietly. I repeated. She slapped me. I'll talk to Blake. Don't bother, I snapped. I won't be needing the reference. Mr. Blake didn't even use my name. Your termination is under review pending investigation. In the meantime, your badge has been deactivated. This is insane, I said. What about due process? He blinked once. We've received multiple internal reports of inappropriate behavior. An anonymous tip to HR included photographic evidence. I froze. What? We're legally required to conduct a full inquiry. Until then, you're suspended without pay. I stood slowly. I gave everything to this job. He looked unmoved. Please return any company property before the end of day. I barely made it out of the building before the first headline dropped. Lexera CEO scandal, intern turned mistress at center of corporate storm. By the time I got home, my phone was melting with notifications, texts from unknown numbers, messages from old classmates. Comments like, slut, gold digger, karma's a bitch, turn your phone off, Cassie said, grabbing it from me. They know my name, I whispered, they'll forget. I'll never work again. Yes, you will. I was in love with him. She said nothing and he just let me drown. I lay on the couch for hours, barely blinking. Cassie tried to make me eat. I couldn't taste anything. At 3 a.m., I finally broke. I thought I was different. Cassie sat beside me, quiet. He told me I made him feel alive, I whispered. He said he'd never met anyone like me. Did you believe him? I nodded. That's not your crime, she said. Believing someone who lies, that's not on you. I feel disgusting. You're not. You're human. I let the tears fall, but I didn't cry for him. I cried for the girl who thought being seen meant being loved. The next morning, I checked my inbox. HR, please confirm your availability for a formal hearing regarding your conduct. The message felt cold. Final, then, a second one, no subject. No text. Just a photo. It was me. In his hotel bed. Sleeping, sent anonymously. My stomach turned. Someone was watching us, watching me, someone wanted me ruined, and Adrian was letting it happen. No, worse. He'd already moved on. I closed my laptop and stood. I wasn't crying anymore. I was angry. I was awake. You haven't left the apartment in 4 days. Cassie's voice cut through the dark like a blade. I didn't answer. Get up. I'm fine. You're not. I pulled the blanket tighter over my head. Please, not today. You said that yesterday. I mean it this time. Okay, she snapped. You can rot in here. Just don't expect me to keep dragging your dead heart out of the fire. The door slammed behind her. I stared at the ceiling. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number, whore. Comment on photo, she deserves everything coming to her. Tweet, homewrecking intern thinks she's the main character. I turned the screen face down and took another sip of warm wine. It tasted like metal and shame. I don't get it, I mumbled into the phone. Why hasn't he said anything? Because he's a coward, Cassie replied flatly. I was fired. I was humiliated. I was dragged through mud and he hasn't even texted. He's protecting himself. From what? The truth? No, she said, sighing. From the damage he caused. Adrian's not the kind of man who cleans up his own mess. He lets someone else bleed for it. And I bled. You still are. I hung up. I didn't want comfort. I wanted answers. I wanted rage. I wanted him to feel what I felt, but most of all, I wanted him to miss me, and he didn't. The mail piled up. The rent notice turned red. My fridge was empty except for expired yogurt and half a bottle of flat champagne. Every time I tried to job hunt, I saw the headlines again. Carter scandal, how one woman took down a CEO. The mistress, the marriage, the meltdown. Office. Affair ends in career suicide. No one replied to my resumes, not even the startups. I wasn't a person anymore. I was a walking scandal. You should sue him, Cassie said one night, dropping takeout onto the couch beside me. For what? Emotional damage? Something. Anything. Don't just sit here. I shook my head. You don't get it. Then make me. I loved him. I know. I thought he loved me too. She looked at me with so much pity I wanted to scream. I thought I mattered, I whispered. You do. No. I mattered to me. I didn't matter to him. That's the difference. She went quiet, and I hated that I was right. It was a Thursday night when it happened. I was scrolling mindlessly, drunk off cheap vodka and cheaper self-worth, when I saw it. A gala Vivian in a red dress, Adrian in a tux, hand on her lower back, both of them smiling like royalty. The caption read, Power couple reunites for cancer benefit. I stared at the screen so long my vision blurred. He looked happy. He looked healed. He looked like I never happened. I smashed the phone against the While Cassie came running in. What the hell? He's fine, I croaked. He's just fine. She picked up the broken phone slowly. You saw the picture. He never loved me. I know. No. I mean, I didn't even love me. That's why it hurt so much. Her eyes softened. Then maybe it's time to start. The next morning, I showered, first time in 8 days. I threw out the wine bottles, deleted the hate mail, and opened my laptop. I made a new email. A new resume. No more lecturer. No more title. Just skills. I rewrote everything, then I did something I hadn't done since college. I wrote a letter, not to him. To me, you survived. He didn't break you. You're not a victim, you're a witness. And soon, they'll all remember you differently. I folded it and slid it into the drawer. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't drink. I just stared at the city lights outside my window and said one thing out loud: I'm not done. Because I wasn't, not by a long shot. Name: Emily Vale. The receptionist didn't even blink. You're early. I like being underestimated. She smiled politely. Mr. Hale will see you now. You're not who your resume says you are, Dante Hale said. Before I even sat down, and you're not as cold as people think. He raised a brow. You know me? I know how to read a room. He folded his hands. Why Westwell? I want to win. And you're the only one actually playing the game. His mouth twitched, just slightly. Have you ever been loyal to anyone? No, I stared him down. But I'm relentless. Good, he said. I'm not hiring you to be loyal. I'm hiring you to destroy people. I still can't believe you pulled this off, Jules whispered, sliding into the booth beside me. New identity, fake references, a fake degree. What, did you go to con artist school? I went. To hell, I said. It teaches you a few things. He grinned. You know Hale only hires broken people, right? Good. I'm in excellent company. I saw Adrian for the first time in months at a networking gala. Stay calm, Jules muttered, handing me a flute of champagne. I am calm. You're shaking. I'm calculating. Adrian was laughing with 2 of Lexera's board members. He hadn't seen me yet, but I walked right up. Adrian. His smile froze. Emily? Don't pretend. I sipped my drink. We both know who I am. You shouldn't be here. Oh, but I should. Lexera's a sponsor, aren't they? I leaned in. I just came to thank you. For what? For turning me into a weapon. I walked away before he could speak. Let him choke on it. You sure this'll work? Jules asked later that night as we uploaded the documents. If Vivian really funneled charity funds into their offshore account, it'll leak like oil. He tapped a few keys. Done. It'll go live tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern. On a site they can't trace. You're a genius. He smirked. And you're terrifying. I love that for us. Monday morning, a blog post title, How Philanthropy Became the Westwood Family Business. By noon, it had 300,000 views. By3, Vivian's team released a statement. By5, Adrian called my burner. You think you're clever, he hissed. No, I said. I think I'm inevitable. You've ruined her. She started it. You're not the victim you pretend to be. No, I said quietly. I'm something worse. I'm the memory you'll never scrub off your skin. I hung up. You don't look satisfied, Dante said later, watching me from his office. I'm not done yet. He nodded slowly. Good. Do you enjoy this? I asked. Breaking people? No. I enjoy balance. And if someone broke you first? He didn't blink. Then I owe them everything. Jules burst into my office the next week. You will not believe what I just found. I looked up. Hit me. Lexer is working on a secret app. They're planning to undercut Westwell in Q4. If we feed them false specs, they'll tank their own launch. I finished. He grinned. Exactly. Do it. Cassie called that night. I hesitated before answering. You alive? She asked, more than ever. I miss you. I'm sorry. You don't have to be sorry, she said softly. You just have to come back when you're done burning it all down. I closed my eyes. I will. I hope there's something left of you when it's over. Me too. 3 weeks later, the fake specs launched. Lexera dropped 12% in 2 days. Adrian was under review. Vivian disappeared from social media, and I stood on the 27th floor of Westwell, staring down at a city I no longer feared. Dante came to stand beside me. You're quiet, he said. I feel light. He nodded. That's the feeling of power shifting. I looked at him. Do you trust me yet? No, Goji. I smirked. You shouldn't. He walked away, and I smiled, because for the first time in my life, I wasn't waiting to be saved. I was holding the match. Don't turn around. I froze. That voice, raspy, cracked, broken in a way I hadn't heard before. Adrian, you're not supposed to be here, I said, staring at the art installation in front of me. A golden sculpture of a phoenix. How poetic. I had to see you. I turned, slowly. He looked like ruin. Disheveled tucks. Hollow eyes. A man stripped of everything. Why? I asked. So I could watch you fall on your knees? His throat bobbed. If that's what it takes. I blinked. You really are desperate. I messed up. No kidding. I glanced around. How'd you even get in? This event's sponsored by Westwell. I know. He stepped closer. I needed 5 minutes. You've had years. I thought I was protecting you. By letting your wife slap me in front of our coworkers? I froze. I panicked. You chose. I cut in. And it wasn't me. He looked down. I lost everything. Good. I kept my voice steady. I hope it hurts. It does, he whispered. It's all gone. Vivian filed. The board forced me out. My name's poison. And all I can think about is you. I let silence stretch. Let it choke him. I wake up wishing I could undo it, he said. Wishing I'd grabbed your hand that day. But you didn't. I didn't, he admitted. And I don't expect you to forgive me. Oh, Adrian. I gave a tight smile. I don't need to forgive you. I just need to forget you. He reached for my hand. I stepped back. You don't get to touch me, I said softly. Not anymore. His face crumpled. Please, don't walk away. I tilted my head. You walked away first. I was scared. So was I. But I didn't throw you to the wolves. I never meant to break you. But you did. We stood there in the hallway, the muffled sound of laughter and champagne glasses echoing from the ballroom. I thought we had something real, he said. We did, I replied. Until you proved it was fake. It wasn't fake to me. Then, why didn't you fight for it? I didn't know how. I exhaled. That's not good enough. I can change. No, I shook my head. You can collapse. You can rebuild. But you don't get to change with me. He looked like he might cry out. I didn't flinch. I still love you, he whispered. I let the words settle. Let them pierce, but not wound. That's your burden now. I said. Not mine. Do you feel nothing? I stepped closer, just enough to watch his breath hitch. I feel powerful, I whispered. And empty. And clean. Because for once, Adrian, I get to walk away with the last word. Don't, he said, voice cracking. Don't do this. Begging suits you, I said. But I'm not the girl who melts for it anymore. He fell silent. I turned to leave. Wait, he said. Just one thing. I stopped. Was it ever real? Between us? I paused. Let my voice drop. Yes. And that's what makes you unforgivable. Then I walked away, and I didn't look back. You're braver than I thought, Vivian said, crossing one elegant leg over the other. I set my drink down. You asked to meet me. I figured you weren't inviting me here to throw another slap. No, she said softly, eyes scanning the skyline. That part of me burned out. I watched her for a second. Perfect hair, flawless lipstick, but something in her had caved. Why now? I asked, because I needed to see the girl who made him fall apart. I smirked. And what do you see? She shrugged. Someone who looks just as tired as I feel. I leaned back. So, this is a sympathy summit? No. This is two women comparing scars. I stared at her. You hated me. I envied you. You humiliated me. And I regret it. Her voice cracked. I wanted to hurt someone. He was too slippery. You were visible. Easy. I didn't respond. I just sipped my drink. Vivian let out a breath. He lied to both of us. You stayed married. He dangled hope like candy, she said bitterly. Told me it was just a phase. That I was being paranoid. That you meant nothing. I blinked. He said that? She looked at me. And to you, I'm sure he said I didn't understand him. That we were complicated. I laughed. You could have written his script. She smiled, tired. We were both played. Difference is, I didn't have a prenup, I muttered. Neither did I. We sat in silence. The city lights flickered below like distant stars. I don't hate you, she said suddenly. I don't think I ever hated you, I whispered. I hated myself. For falling? For thinking I was different. Vivian tapped her glass. He has a talent for that. I studied her face. For the first time, I didn't see a threat. I saw someone who'd been gutted by the same knife. I'm not here for an apology, she added. I know. I needed someone to understand how hollow it all felt. I do. Her eyes welled, but she didn't let them fall. He made me feel invisible in my own house. He made me feel seen for the first time, I said quietly. That was the cruelest part. Vivian nodded. We both survived him. I smiled. Yeah, we did. She leaned in. How did you get out? I didn't, I admitted. He threw me out. But eventually, I realized that was a gift. She let out a weak laugh. Funny how pain becomes freedom. I forgave you, you know. Her lips parted. Why? Because hating you kept me chained to him. Vivian looked down. I'm not sure I deserve it. It's not for you, I said. It's for me. We sat in stillness again, two women who should have been enemies, but somehow became mirrors. She stood up first. Thank you for coming. Thank you for asking. Vivian hesitated. Will you be okay? I nodded. I already am. As she walked away, I finally let the tears fall. Not for Adrian, for the girl who loved him. For the girl who thought love was supposed to ache. For the girl who thought being chosen meant being whole. I cried for her, and then, I let her go. They're going to love you, Dante said, adjusting his cufflinks as we stood behind the velvet curtain. They'd better, I muttered, shifting my weight from one heel to the other. I only rewrote this keynote 30 times. You rewrote it 30 times because you wanted it perfect. Because it had to be perfect. I glanced at the stage. This isn't just a presentation, Dante. It's my resurrection. You don't need to prove anything to them. I'm not proving it to them. I exhaled slowly. I'm proving it to me. The MC's voice boomed across the ballroom, and now, please welcome to the stage, Lexera's former intern. And now Westwell's youngest division lead, Sienna Vale. I stepped into the light, the applause hit like a wave, but I barely heard it. My eyes scanned the crowd, suits, tablets, polite smiles, and then, there he was, a back row. Slouched. Bearded. Unshaven Adrian. He looked like a man who'd forgotten how to sit up straight. No name badge. No assistant at his side. Just silence. I didn't flinch. Didn't blink. Thank you, I began, keeping my voice calm. When I started in this industry, I was told I was lucky to be noticed. That if I smiled enough, worked late enough, stayed quiet enough, I'd get a seat at the table. A few chuckles from the front row. I believed that. Until I realized, being noticed isn't the same as being respected. Dante nodded from the wings. I didn't want to be someone's shadow anymore. So I stopped shrinking. I built my own light. Applause. I paused. I'm here today not because the road was smooth, but because I finally stopped apologizing for taking up space. The applause got louder. Somewhere in the crowd, Adrian shifted. I didn't look at him again. I ended my speech, walked off the stage, and exhaled for the first time in what felt like hours. You killed it, Dante said, handing me a glass of water. Was it enough? You shattered the ceiling. I let myself smile. Did you see him? I did. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. I glanced back at the audience. His chair was empty. Did he leave? Yes. I nodded. Good. We stood there for a beat. The lights dimmed. The next speaker was being announced. I used to think closure had to come with words, I murmured, and now I know silence can be louder. Dante looked at me. You sure you're okay? I'm not healed, I said quietly. But I'm not bleeding anymore either. He held out his hand. Come on. There's champagne in the green room. I hesitated, then took it. He didn't squeeze. Didn't lead. Just held on, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like someone's secret. I felt seen. I glanced over my shoulder one last time. Adrian was gone, and I never looked back.